Good morning, Jim. Thank you for taking our questions this morning. Can you start with letting our audience know a little bit about Autus Advisory Partners?
Sure. And firstly, a good Monday morning to you and your viewers, and thank you for having me. Autus Advisory Partners is a consulting business, more on the advisory side, that focuses on the growth and development of small and medium-sized companies that are either looking for to get to the next plateau or just maybe struggling a little bit with their ability to be enriched and flourish, and we try to help those companies through growth development. We have a capital raise program, as well as we have an advisory board program where we all sit. I think it would probably be a lot easier for your viewers to just go to our website. I'll give you the details at the end of this interview, and they could find all of the things that Autus Advisory Partners can do for a client, along with our fee structures and everything else, but we'll do that at the end of this interview.
Sounds good. We would like to know a little bit more about your Grow Now, Pay Later program and your focus on women business owners. Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. We're very happy and excited about our vision for Grow Now, Pay Later. It all evolved out of the inundation that we were receiving. We were getting so many emails and phone calls from companies that were looking for the Autus Advisory Partners services and our full scale of services to help their companies flourish or just get them enriched. But we were starting to realize that most of them just weren't in the position to pay our bills and any other consulting bills. And certainly they weren't in the position to hire a chief executive officer, a chief operating officer, chief marketing officer, to do all the things that a company would need to do to grow and develop. So we were turning down a lot of that business, and we came up with this idea within the internal structure of the Autus founding members that maybe we should not be so quick to turn a blind eye to this. Maybe could be a treasure trove for us. Maybe we could look at these businesses and decide whether or not some of them would warrant us to defer our invoices until we actually were able to generate revenue through our growth and development strategies. So we launched Grow Now, Pay Later to do just that. We take companies that we would approve, and we do the same things that we would do for our paying clients. The only difference is that we would defer the payments to be after we actually generate the revenue for that company through our programs to actually pay our bills. And then once we're all paid up and we think the company is going forward, we will sit on the advisory board and make sure that that company could sustain the growth and development plans that we put in place without actually hiring us. They just keep us on their advisory board and pay us advisory board fees. As we were going down the path of this, it was becoming startling of how many of these contacts were either women who aspired to be entrepreneurs or women that were looking for startup help or early stage development help. And so we went back to the drawing board, and we did not change the Grow Now, Pay Later program because it's working very well for us. But we started to believe that there was a gaping hole in the sector of help for women entrepreneurs, women who aspired to be entrepreneurs, or women that were hoping to get a little bit of startup success, a leg up in their startup success. We noticed that there was not a whole lot of options for them. So at Autus, we're basically an even mix of male and female founding partners. We thought to ourselves that this would be a great opportunity for us to go out there and maybe help a sector that was not getting the help that they needed. Of course, being female entrepreneurs. I've been in business for 30 years. I've had women partners in business for many, many years. So I understand sometimes what their lifestyle balance might encompass that maybe is a little bit outside the business area. Plus, I think being a serial entrepreneur helps me understand the way that I might need to get our team to help these people find their sort of entrepreneurial spirit. I've got a lot of smart people with me at Autus. The group itself is second to none as far as both experience and the ability to have intellectual humility to have to help our clients flourish. So we thought this would be a great breeding ground. So we took the Grow Now, Pay Later, and we said we're going to target women-owned startups and aspiring women entrepreneurs, and that, of course, is the sector of our business that we're just launching now.
You mentioned work-life balance, which is very important for every woman. If someone was hesitant about entering the entrepreneurial world, can you give us advice as to who should or should not enter business as an entrepreneur?
Well, sure. And of course, it's a very controversial subject because, you know, some people are of the mindset that you could sort of buy a book and, you know, read it, fall out of bed and become an entrepreneur. And then there are other people like me who believe that there are certain genes and ingrained that an entrepreneur has that will help them find the success they need. You know, typically entrepreneurs, it's not about business ownership utopia. It's, you know, it's about missions and goals and the ability to persevere through cynics and through you know, sometimes nasty falls. And unfortunately, you know, women and men have different lifestyle balances that would preclude or include the ability to sometimes, you know, withstand what an entrepreneur may need to go through to actually find their own entrepreneurial stride. I wrote a piece called The Entrepreneur's Edge, Understanding Your Inner Entrepreneur. And frankly, I think that anybody who is interested to understand the life's balances and the trials and tribulations of becoming an entrepreneur or discovering your own entrepreneurial gene, I suggest that they go to our website. We have a section called The Beehive, which is where we put all of our provocative thoughts. If you go to our website, I think you may enjoy the read called The Entrepreneur's Edge.
The world is changing as we speak today. What are the greatest challenges for any future entrepreneur, whether it be male or female?
Well, the greatest challenge in the world today is the ability to keep with the markets and globalization. You know, globalization has taken over the world, and of course, it's a very apropos conversation today after what's going on in Europe right now, which I guess is a lack of confidence in that many are having for globalization. But at the end of the day, global markets are really the place where any business needs to target to actually find the success and keep up with, I guess, the Joneses, as I like to say. Globalization, of course, becomes in a very expensive way to go after a market, and so it becomes a challenge for any young or early stage venture, regardless of whether or not it's created by a male or a female. You know, the ability to see the end result of a vision is something that I always write about, is something that an entrepreneur has. The ability to articulate that sometimes is an ability that you may have, but it becomes a real challenge. And we think that at Autus Advisory Partners, we have the staff that can articulate that vision so that others can see it a little bit more clearly. And so those are two very big challenges once somebody decides whether or not they are able to become an entrepreneur for their own lifestyle balance and whether or not it meets with their inner making. And then once you decide that that's true, then that whole venture into entrepreneurship will create a lot of challenges. But I think globalization and I think articulation of your innovative points will probably be the two greatest challenges.
Good information. Do you have any closing words?
Well, I guess you know, the first thing I'd like to say is that I inferred before about going to our website. Our website is www.autuspartners.com. You can see it on the screen. You're welcome to call us at 844-288-AUTUS. We'd be happy to speak with you. If you go to our website, you'll see the whole host of, or the roster of founding members that will be available to take your call. I'd love to share my thoughts and views on entrepreneurship, early stage ventures with anybody who is interested in knowing more about their their own inborn abilities. And I think it all starts there. You know, we can't make a business flourish until we create a path for the individual to find out whether or not they're ready for a world of entrepreneurship. And then after that, maybe we can design a program for them that will get their early stage venture or startup launched, and at that point, maybe we can enrich their lives a little bit.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate your insights this morning, and we look forward to hearing more about Autus Advisory Partners.
And thank you for having me, Angie, and you have a good week ahead.